Hello and welcome to part 2 for the configuration of TellmeWhen. Now there's a lot of stuff to go over, but before I go any further I should strongly suggest that you download the add-on called OmniCC, because what we're going to do with that is that we're going to pull information from OmniCC and have it being displayed here. Plus I also have a badass setup for you to use if you switch back and forth between two major roles, such as tanking and DPS, without having to respec or switch out gear. But should you have to do that, then I suggest that you use a different profile setting for that other role for you to take on. I'm going to go ahead and set up my bars here, and I will be right back. Okay, so here we are. Now, these looking for group icons that you see down here, that is the meta icon. What the meta icon does is that it displays a different icon based on the conditions that we set. So in this case we have it looking at pulverize and all of its conditions, and then if that fails it goes to Tiger's Fury, and if that fails it just doesn't display anything. I do have this in two separate bars, one for bear and being in combat, and of course one for the cat bar, and if I'm in cat, and if I'm in combat for that. It wouldn't be any different if you were on your warrior and you have berserk stance and whatever else, and same thing goes for death knights if you were in multiple different stances, and if certain things work better if you are in the correct stance, then you could only tell it to display that. So it's pretty universal there. Let's see here. The show timer, that is the information that's going to be pulled from OmniCC and displaying it right there in the center of the icon. That way you know how much longer you have to wait. The check activation border. Now that is something that if it procs for you, such in my case it is Bear Mangle. It wouldn't be any different if I were on my mage and the arcane missiles procs. Whatever it is that procs for you that has the nice little shiny glowing border around of whatever ability it is, that is your check activation border. And should you not have that checked, then it's going to display the normal cooldown phase even though you can actually use it right now. So check activation border if you know it checks. Because they're in two separate bars, you do have to click on always hide, otherwise it's going to display it twice. We don't want twice, we just want once. Over here in the upper right corner you have the keybind text. Now the keybind text is just that. It's only a note for you to know what keys to press in order to use that ability. It does not create a keybind for you, and so you really could come down to Dominoes or Bartender or whatever action bar add-on you use and disable it from showing. You can use a custom texture if you want, because it doesn't really matter as long as you press the right button. You can use a show icon as always, and if it's unusable, display it at 50%. Now, if that were the case, you can come down to sounds and have a custom sound effect on alpha increase. That way, whenever it actually is ready for you, you can have it use a sound effect. Now, if you want to use a custom sound, no problem. Create a custom sound in the home directory of World of Warcraft. Once you do that, you have to exit the game completely and then log back in because you're adding files to the directory. Come down here, type it in, and don't forget to hit enter, because then it will completely ignore what you just typed in, and then click on your speaker icon to test it out. Now up here I have it set for looking at my interrupts. Now it doesn't always work. I'm not sure why, even if everything I know passes, and it should display it but it doesn't, so I'm not sure why there, but on that case you can use a custom sound for doing that. Now the only two sound effect file formats that it will accept is .ogg and .wave. It will not accept anything else. So test that out. Whoops, that almost sucked. Test that out. Yeah, that's gonna grab my attention really quick to interrupt. Let me see what else. Oh, you can use this for healing if you want. Now, the setup that I have for that on my priest healing isn't exactly the best, and it's a big damn mess, but that's not to say that you can't use it for healing. So I'm going to switch over and show you how that works. Hold on. And see, like I said, big damn mess. 4 action bars specifically set to be looking at a party member if it is a DPS or not, because you don't know which party members are going to be the DPS. And this is just a regular bar right here. Up here at the top, that is the tank bar. And you do have to set this up under group conditions. If party member 1 is a tank, then to display it here. Or if party member 2 is a tank, then to display it here, and so on and so forth. But the meta icon that I have here was going to set to be looking at Power Word Shield and the Weakened Soul debuff. But of course, I obviously did not get that correct. Not sure why. So if Power Word Shield is absent on the tank, then it would display the icon for Power Shield. Now, once it gets Power Word Shield, then it was going to display Weakened Soul. That way I know I can't put Power Word Shield back on the tank. But obviously that didn't work out so well. Again, not sure why. Multi-state ability. You know what your multi-state ability is, so I'm not really going to go into further detail with it. But what I am going to say is that that specific ability does have to be in your action bar somewhere. It cannot be just pulled out from your spell book and not have it be anywhere else. It does have to be in your action bar, period. That is coming from the author, not from me. And your binding text and hiding and power check and all that stuff. But the other thing you could have here for healing is your ranged check. That's always going to be nice to have, isn't it? But the other thing is the group condition for all of this. So, and you have to put party member 3, party member 4, all the other stuff, because you don't know which party member is going to have what role. So this all sucks. But not to say that it can't be done, because it can. Just not fully. Sorry. I'm going to switch back here. Hold on. Now that we're back on here, there's one other thing I can show you. One of my guildmates was asking me, can this work for me displaying mana burn? Sure, no problem. Icon type, spell cast, on target, and mana burn. Enter. So, oh, don't forget to enable it. So, whenever my target is casting mana burn, regardless if it's a player or not, because that guildmate does do PvP, obviously, that's going to display it down here and not anywhere else. Now the reason, you may be wondering why I have 6 bars, 6 slots instead of 5. Main reason is because I do have Savage Roar, and that is a little bit of a longer rotation in cat form than I do in bear, but because I'm using 1 bar to display everything, I have to have that main bar wide enough to accommodate that extra ability in that cat form, even if I don't feel like DPSing. Speaking of which, I'm going to go tank something, and I will catch you later. Hope this helped.
This is a war with